of the drum above the surface, and you can calibrate both sides so the pressure is the same on each side. It's a variety of saws, vertical bandsaw, another horizontal bandsaw. We use that one, has an angle block set in it, so that's where we cut all these. That one is set up to cut all these tubes at the angle here.
Oh, right.
And we have different jigs and whatnot, so we can cut each one real accurately to the right length and whatnot. So when we weld it all up, everything's nice and straight.
And then you got this upright bandsaw.
Yeah, it's a vertical bandsaw. When we're welding the little drums, or the big drums for that matter, they're done on this apparatus. And this is called the drum turning fixture, I guess. It has a foot pedal that's normally down on the floor. We'll set the rollers across here. Ground clamp is on one end. The baffles and shaft are coming out the other end. And then as we step on the pedal, it'll drive the motor, which we can vary the speed on, since we need different rotational speeds for different diameters. And this will rotate the part around and around, so we can basically hold the torch in the ideal position so we can get a nice true weld, and the part will rotate around for us, so we're not having to weld upside down anymore.
Right.
It just makes it a lot less operator fatigue and assures that we get really high quality welds.
How many people do you have working here?
We have 7 people working down here. In the company, there's about 10 employees. The next room, way down here.
There's another room.
Another room. This is the, we call it the crate room. This is where we build the crates to ship the presses out.
Oh.
And store the press beds as they come in, cut the beds, and basically a lot of woodworking type equipment back in here.
A nice forklift there. I'm
Nice
sure that
forklift.
comes in handy.
Radial arm saws, it's called. Our air compressor for the shop is back in the corner. They're always stuck back in the corner somewhere.
Right.
This is the table saw. We cut the maple beds and cut the material up for building skids and crates and that type of thing. Some of these things packaged around back in here are the hard rock maple that we use to build the floor model presses with. The same material used on a bowling alley.
Right.
So it's a very hard, dense wood. And by the time it's all put together on the press, you can't even see it, which is kind of a shame, because it's really pretty wood. This is the bottom side of it. So when they put these together, we get this out of Petoskey, Michigan. It's used a lot for countertops and kitchens and bars and various things. But we end up building our bed down. So this is the bottom surface of it. You can always tell because they'll put any flaws that are in the material, they'll put them down to the bottom side. And this would be, I'll flip it over here. This would actually be the top surface of it.
Beautiful. Wow, it's really fantastic.
So that's what some of these different piles are. That looks like it's a 72-inch long, so that would end up being a model 4072. Two of those pieces would be put together and cut and fashioned so they formed a 4072 press bed. These are some 3460s that have been cut and sealed. We take them and we provide relief cuts in them. They go about 2 inches into a 3-inch thick piece. And we do that to provide, as they go from our climate here, which is real dry, out to Washington, then of course the humidity changes and the bed is very stable in the direction of the grain growth. So this way they won't change at all. This way they'll change a little bit with varying humidity. But by providing those cuts, we can keep the bed extremely flat but still allow it room to grow and contract. So
They do similar things to bridges too, don't they? They'll leave a little
bridges, back
expansion
door,
cracks.
door frames and whatnot are relief cut on the back side to provide room for the frame to flex but still remain flat.
Hey, you're expanding out here, aren't you?
Yeah, new addition out here. Now we haven't finished yet, but we work on it as time permits. So we got a roof and partially framed.
You know, the one thing I really didn't know was that you build drum kits here.
We all will. My brother has been playing the drums since he was about 12 years old, I think. So it's one of his
probably a good place to practice.
Yeah, he gets really good acoustics out here. So this is just, I don't know, it's just an addition.
It's a big place.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
So what will happen eventually is that big sander we looked at the very start will move out here so we can keep some of the dustier. It makes quite a bit of dust and whatnot when it's running, even though it has sawdust collectors on it. So that'll end up moving out in this area, and when they redo the woodworking area, some with more benches and shelves, so it's easier for us to work.
How come that one's red?
That one was red because the customer specifically wanted it red. They wanted a red press.
Probably the publishing part of it is the red press.
Right.
That other one is also a 2648 etching press. That one was in the Santa Fe workshop. We loaned it to them. I can't think of the name of it right now.
So who's your friend who's getting the press?
Terry's already got hers.
Oh, she's already got hers. I was going to say, where's Terry's? Where's Terry's press?
Yeah, Terry's already got hers.
Dang.
And I don't think it was too long ago. I mean, it was maybe it didn't sound as like it was relatively. She had one from you before, but it was smaller.
Right.
And so she grew up into a big one. Anyway, we'll have to make her a tape and spare the crew down here from. She probably won't come say, well, anyway. Maybe we can give her some of the tape.
Have any questions I can try to answer?
I can't think of a thing. You have covered it pretty well. I appreciate this so much.
Sure.
I think it's going to be fun to go back and show my kids. Hey, I was on vacation, but I was still thinking of you, and look what I found.
Well, that'll give them something nice to look at.
Yep. Yeah. You know, so often you see something and it just looks like it was always that way. You don't imagine it starts out as a rusty old piece of pipe kind of thing, you know, like just
right.
You might look at those materials and think, oh, that'll never be anything, but
right.
With a lot of skill, there it is.
Well, these kids are really interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They know how it works.
Yeah.
Got a boys.
So, it's hard to imagine that's the same material that's laying up in the yard, but it is. That's what it looks like when it comes into those.
How about this one's going to the School of Art in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yep. That's going to LSU.
Huh.
Whoa.
And Peakham's Press, and he just came down this weekend for the symposium at Tamarind Institute. He's putting on this weekend. And that press is going to go be shipped up there to him. So that one's going to Oregon.
Wow.
A lot of people were coming in from Tamarind for Tamarind's symposium this weekend. So we had an open house today.
Well, you know, when I heard there was an open house, I thought, perfect timing. And then I thought, well, but maybe we won't get any personal attention.
Well, you came at the right
I was wrong.
time.
I was wrong.
So this